Hey guys, welcome to part 3. This is a really weird angle where you see a little bit of my face, but you see most of the table. This is still the bottom piece, so what we're doing is we're starting the sanding process. So let's quit talking, let's get to it.
Okay. So just like painting, you want to go with the grain. You just go back. So what we're working with is with our sander, and thank God for these little machines, because I can't imagine doing this old-fashioned way, which is a piece of sandpaper and spit and determination. But what we're working with for this initial sanding of the table, I am doing the bottom, sides, and top, of course. But you want to, give the bottom, at least a good once through. But we're starting off with this. I think this is 120 or 140. I can't remember. It's 100 and something. But this is going to be a good sanding to where it really takes off and smooths down the table. And then what we'll do is we'll finish up with a little 220, which is more of it's a little bit thinner grain, and so it's going to give you a better finish. And then we'll also use that again later. So I'll tell you about that later. Okay. Well, we are definitely in day 3. We've got London over here. We're starting to paint the base. We've already put one coat down, which actually wound up, as you can see here, I got this antique white, and for some reason, it came out a little gray. It's kind of weird. So we wanted to go a little bit wider. So over here, we went back and we got the ultra white. That's more of what we wanted the look to be. So as you can see, we're going along. You always want to make sure that when you're painting, you see what London's doing, is she's going back and forth with the grain. So we want to make sure that when you paint, you do that. Now the legs are a little bit different, because with the Carolina Leg Company, the way they do it on the lathe, you can tell some of these are maybe pieced together. Like I think maybe this block here, maybe one piece, from about here to here, maybe one piece, and then from here down, maybe one piece, and they put all 3 together, because it looks like there was some sort of seal in those crevices. But regardless, it's turning out beautiful. What do you think, Lo?
I like it.
So we'll get this second coat of paint on, which is the first coat of white. We'll let the boss look at it and see if we need to do a third coat. But
The boss is my mom, by the way.
who's the boss?
My mom.
So we'll get this done. What's nice is with this paint, we're using the Valspar cabinet and furniture paint. What's nice is once this dries, you can see a little bit of the brush strokes, but once it dries, it really starts to level out on its own, and it gets real smooth. So we're pretty excited about that. Okay, so the table is done, painted. Turned out quite lovely, I think. I think Kim had a good call with changing that to white. So all in all, we actually have 4 coats of paint. And as you can probably tell from some of we use the satin finish there. The brush strokes have really thinned out, and you really see that nice glow. So now this is complete as far as being painted. So we're gonna let this dry overnight, and then we will move it into the dining room. For now, we're gonna start working on the tabletop. So one of the things that I wanted to do was, this is gonna be a family heirloom, so to speak. So what we've done is I've gotten a wood burner, and I've started to kind of just on the bottom of the tabletop. I'm not quite finished yet, but I put our last name initial, the H for Hall, and then I put the first initial of my name, my wife's name, my son's name, and my daughter's name. So the only thing I have left of this is I'm actually going to come in here and I'm going to fill in the H and burn it, but I need a different head. So what I'm doing is I'm letting the wood burner cool down so that I can switch out the heads. And what I'll do is once I get it, I'll bring you guys back. And I mean, it's wood burning. It's a very slow process. You would think it'd be faster, but maybe if I got, this is only a 25 or 35 watt wood burner. They do make 100 and 150 watt, which might burn hotter to make it faster. But since all I'm doing is putting in initials, I thought this was good enough. It was only like 15, 20 bucks. So, but I'll bring you back and we'll go over trying to burn out part of the H. Okay, so I'll put on this different head, and this is where the monotonous of it comes in, because all you're doing is making little bubbles. I don't know if you can see very well. We're just making little dots, or burning dots. And really, it's up to your own imagination on how you want to do this. But slowly but slowly, I like to kind of go in little rows. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You're wanting this just enough to, there you go, to really just come in here, and you'll see we're just going to little rows, happy little dots. You just do this until it's all done. And like I said, depending on what kit you get, there are some kits that, number one, the burner has more wattage, so I think it probably burns better. Like if I was gonna do like a lot of projects, I think that one that's 100 and something watts, I want to say that was like $100 or $99 or something like that. But you know, if something like that, you want to be able to have a little bit more control. They also have, you'll see here, this head. They have different heads. There's some that have a calligraphy head. So if you wanted to take your time, and it's always good to have a template, or it's good to hand draw what you're going to wood burn first, like what I did, and then just go throughout the process of slowly burning. And that's pretty much it. Nothing too exciting. So I'll get back with you whenever I start to work on the stain. Okay, we finished burning our initials into the table. And so now we're gonna go ahead and stain the bottom side of the tabletop. And you're probably wondering, why are you doing that? Well, two things. One, it'll help protect the wood a little bit by having some stain on it. And number two, it also, depending on what stain you have, it gives you the opportunity to play around with it, to be able to apply it before you do the other side. That way you get an idea of how much stain to use and what you need to do. This stain dries pretty quickly, so you want to make sure that you're going along. I kind of just started on one plank and then decided to just stay on this one plank. That way we have this even coat for each plank. So that's what I'm doing. When you get to little crevices, you can always just put a little excess on there and then rub it out. But it's really nice to get in there and rub it good because you'll be able to get in there and really polish that up to where you get the stain you want, plus to be able to see the wood grains. Also, just like painting, you want to go with the grain of the wood, and that gives you a much better finish. So I will get back with you once I complete this and show you the finished, woo, getting kind of close, the finished underside of the table. We're going to let it dry overnight. And you see how the K is really popping out. Let it dry overnight. Let the base dry overnight. And then we'll take the base inside. We'll flip this over and we'll stain the top side. Start putting,
Smells like smoke from you burning.
Smells like what?
Smoke from you burning the...
Oh, it smells like smoke. And then also we'll do the polyurethane. So we're gonna get this done and then go from there. So I'll bring you back when I get this bottom piece completed. Peace. All right, folks. So here she is. It's kind of dark outside, so all we have is the inside light. My daughter's over here working out. But here is the base of the table. Look how beautiful that stain is. I love being able to have the grays in it.
Is it wet?
Yeah, don't touch it. I love having the grays in it. You see the grain of the wood, and then some of the browns come through too. It is just beautiful. And then of course, there's our burnt in, I guess our Hall family crest or whatever you want to call it. That's kind of in there for it to be personable to us. This is, with this being a family heirloom and all.
This overall very light.
My daughter is having a real good time. So anyway, we're gonna let this dry. We're gonna finish letting the base dry overnight. Tomorrow we'll take this inside and I'll get my son to help me flip this over, and then we'll go, we'll work on the top. So see you on the flip side. Okay guys, so what I'm gonna do next, we flip the table over, so now this is the top. This is the part we're gonna eat on, and this is the side that I really had that nice fine sanding process that we did earlier. So what we're gonna do now is, before we put the stain, sorry my hair's a little messy, didn't wear my hat this time, but we got some pre-stain, and what this does is, especially with pine wood, is this will help as we're staining this. Even though the other side did quite well with the pre-staining to try on the bottom side, this will just give you that extra protection of preventing blotches and things like that. So it's gonna, your stain's gonna go a lot more smooth, be more smooth. And with this being the top that people are gonna see and eat off of, you want it to look as nice and professional as possible. So we're gonna do one layer of this on the top, let it dry, and then we'll apply the stain. Okay, so you can see the difference. Here's the area that I've already pre-stained, and so it's really just getting in there. With this, you don't even have to use gloves for cleanup. If this does get on you or whatever, it's easy, while it's wet, it's still very easily washed or cleaned up with just some soap and water. But this will just give you that, just to prepare that wood, like I said, to receive that stain a lot better. I mean, just look at the difference between it. Now, granted, it is wet, so as it dries, it's going to get lighter again, but it's going to really help. It's going to really help with applying that stain that we'll do next. So I'll get onto this. We'll get back in just a minute. Okay, so we put the pre-stain on. You allow that to, once you put that on, get a damp cloth, get any excess off of the pre-stain, and then it's time to put the stain, the color that you want on your table. So it's just going to be like us doing the bottom. I'm excited to see how this does with the pre-stain, but this side of it is much more sanded down, and so it's a lot smoother. So I think this is going to be a great process. And then also we'll see what I can kind of see what the difference is between the non-pre-stain side and the stain side of the pre-stain side. So it's it'd be neat to kind of look and see what the difference is. There shouldn't be any color differences, but what you want to do is as soon as you've taken the excess of the pre-stain off, you want to wait about 15-20 minutes and then apply your stain. If you wait, you need to do it within about 2 hours, because I think the pre-stain will totally just dry up and you'll be back to where you were and you'll have to pre-stain yet again. So, about 15-20 minutes after you put that down, and then before 2 hours. So let's start this bad boy up. I'm so excited. Oh yeah, this is coming on real nice. And then in the areas where you have these little knots and stuff, just kind of put a little stain on there, drip it in those where the stain gets in those knots, and then just smooth it out. So I'm gonna work on this, and once I get to the end, I'll bring you back. I don't think you want to sit there and watch me stain this whole table. That would be quite boring. So, see you soon. Okay, just like the bottom, the top is complete. So we've had the pre-stain, and now we've had the actual stain. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this totally dry overnight. Golly, those grains look great. We're gonna let this dry overnight, and then we basically have what's remaining is basically like a 3-day process. So what's next is, like I said, a 3-day process. So tomorrow I will come in and I'll put a coat of polyurethane over this table to start sealing it, and then we'll wait another 24 hours, and so Tuesday I'll come in, and you want to get like a 220 something like that grit sandpaper, and then just lightly, just hardly putting any pressure down, lightly go over that polyurethane layer to basically send out any bubbles or anything like that happens during that process. Clean that off, put another layer of polyurethane, and so we'll repeat that 3 times. So we're gonna have 3 layers of polyurethane on the table. And then I guess so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so Thursday we'll be actually able to take it inside and assemble it to the base, and we'll have a dining room table. That's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up for today. I'm gonna get the little stuff cleaned up. So until the next process, I'll see you in a little bit. Peace out. Hey guys, all right. We are down to the final steps of the build. Woo! So what we've got here is we have some mid-wax polyacrylic. It's the crystal clear top coat polyurethane that we're applying to the table. This is actually what I'm going to demonstrate. This is actually
my third application or coat of polyurethane to our tabletop. You can kind of see in the video some of the glare, some of the reflection from the first two coats. It is really important to get a good, awesome, professional finish that in between coats, you give it a very light sand with that 220 grit sandpaper. Just, you don't want to put a lot of pressure, you just want to kind of just feel, and you can feel as you're doing it, you can feel some of the bubbles from the polyurethane. Also, when you put the final coat on, and I'm trying to decide, do I stick with just three coats, or should I do a fourth one? I'm still trying to figure that out. I may do a fourth one just because, you got tables, you're gonna be putting stuff on it, there's kids, there's all sorts of stuff that can happen. And really, the more coats you put on it, the more you're gonna protect your tabletop. So, but I'm definitely gonna apply the third one in this video, just so you can see how easy it is. I think when I stand up, I'm gonna cut my head off, so I'm not the headless horseman or anything like that. Oh, you can barely see my head. But it's just, you just really, and what I like to do with this, I like to work from the inside out. So what I've been doing is I've been going to this inner board here, and I've just been, putting a really good layer of the polyurethane on there. Kind of go about 2-3 feet sections of the polyurethane, and I don't know if you can see it, get about, I don't know, it's probably about an inch onto the brush. Kind of get into the middle here. Just kind of, just like painting and sanding, you want to go with the grain with this product. And then the last little bit over here. And once I got on there and I brushed away any extra that I have on there, what I like to do to have a nice, so that there's not some brush strokes in there, which it should even out, but just to be on the safe side, I take my brush and in one motion, I go back and forth at the top, middle, and then bottom of that board, that plank, just to have that nice consistent brush stroke. And so that's pretty much all I do. So I'm gonna finish this bad boy up, and I think the next segment of this video should be the last one, and that's where I actually will put the top onto the base that we painted previously and put it together and set it up in the dining room, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. So I'm gonna let you guys go, finish this, hem-haw about if I want to do a fourth coat or not, but we're gonna knock this out. So see you in a little bit for that very final segment.
Okay, folks, at long last, this project is complete. Yes, we have done it. We have put together the base. We have put together the top. Now we have joined them together in holy matrimony. So let's check it out. All right, the completed table. Done, done, done. Daughter not included. But yeah, here it is. This married up so well. We've got the white base, which is, I think it's called Ultra White by Minwax, which is the furniture paint, or maybe that's Valspar. I think the paint is Valspar, Ultra White furniture paint, satin finish. And then we have this beautiful top that we are gonna have many, many, many wonderful dinners at. But look, just trying to get out as far as I can, but that's what it looks like together, and it turned out so phenomenally great.
And underneath is gonna be my fault.
Oh, and London said she's gonna use this as a way, I guess, to put a blanket over it. and then make a fort underneath that Josie just came out of. So this is it. The next two projects with this, and we'll probably do two separate videos, is my wife, I did not build these chairs. My wife found 6 of these farmhouse chairs that this fella built, and they decided to get a new look. So he sold us these chairs, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's not a lot of padding. So we want to basically take these off, put in a little bit of extra padding, and then reupholster. So that'll be the next project. And then, like I said previously, I think, is whenever I got these beautiful legs from the Carolina Leg Company, it also came with 4 short legs to be able to make a bench that we will be able to put right here. So that will be 2 other builds, or one fixer-upper and then one build that I will do. And that bench will pretty much match the table. We'll have the same finish and the same white legs. So guys, appreciate you sticking in with all 3 segments of this. London, you have anything to say?
It was fun to paint.
It was a lot of fun. Had some good family time with my son and with my daughter, with helping put this project together, and my wife supervising. And
I can show you underneath.
we've already seen the underneath of it.
Well, get your fit on.
Also, if you're liking this series, definitely give us a thumbs up. And then if you haven't done so already, please, please, please subscribe. We're trying to reach a new goal of 500 subscribers. So we'd love to help out with this. We do all kinds of crazy things, whether it's some sort of build or something in the kitchen or something with fitness. So guys, get your fit on. And with this project, probably should say,
Get your build on.
get your build on. Say that again, Lo.
Get your build on.